The wider the base, the higher the peak. It's an old saying, and there's still pretty much relevant truth to it. And I am going to be thinking about that a lot while I am doing this next I'll call it an off season or a building season before my next meet. I already picked my next meet. It's going to be August 16th. It's a USPA, which means there's going to be walked out squats, and I'm still planning on doing the Raw Classic, which means I'll be using knee wraps again. Now, for the training leading into that, I'm going to be making some changes, some things that I noticed that I think I can improve on, and hopefully walk away with a better experience. I know I was really happy with my deadlift, but the rest of the meet I think had a lot that could be fixed. You guys might notice that the formatting is a little bit different on these. If you look at the little title that has the weights, there's a new number on there that's not usually on there. That little @ sign followed by a number is going to be my RPE rating, because when I'm doing this entire next 12 weeks of training, I am foregoing using percentages for my top sets. Instead, I'm going to be using an RPE scale. Basically what that means is on whatever the day is, I will have an idea of what weight I'd like to start with for my sets and reps, but I will be adjusting it based on how I feel the set went and how many reps I feel like I could have with good form following that. So if something's an 8 on the RPE scale for me, I'm going to say that I feel like I had another solid 2 reps before I either cut depth in a squat or before I start to break down my technique. So for this 485 sets, I did all 5 sets of 3. I felt like they were all at an 8, which means I had another solid 2 reps in me before things started to break down. Towards the end, it was getting a little bit closer to an 8.5 just because the no belt was starting to give me a little bit of extra core stability required, but overall I felt like the difficulty was pretty consistent throughout, and that is kind of how I'm going to be basing my training for the next 12 weeks, because I think it is important for me to use kind of a fluid training system so that I'm not stuck into some percentage thing that is pushing me too hard on days when I'm not feeling well or recovered, and allows me to push a little bit farther on days when I am feeling good. So you saw on those first bench press sets, I started with 315. It felt too easy, so I added 5 pounds. It felt good for 2 sets, but on the next set it felt too easy again, so I added more weight, and it ended up being a little bit higher than the 8 that I was going for. So it's going to take a little bit of getting used to this new method, I'm going to say, but so far I really liked it. I felt like I got the absolute most out of this training session that I could because of that, and I wasn't restricted to any specific numbers. I'm restricted to how my body's reacting, how I've recovered, and how the sets are actually feeling. So this is a method that I've wanted to try for about 2 years, but I haven't felt that I was disciplined enough to listen well enough to my body on days when I wasn't feeling good. I think anybody has, it's pretty easy to go hard and to put extra in when you're feeling good, but it's really hard to tell yourself it's okay to back off on days when you don't have everything going well. And so that's something that I'm going to struggle with a little bit, but I think it's going to be good for me and will show some opportunity for personal growth. I moved back to the close grip bench press after those squats, 5 sets of 4. I had 275 and it kind of fluctuated. My aim was for a 7.5 RPE, and I went from about a 7 to an 8 over the course of all 5 sets. Afterwards, I moved on to pin squats, and you'll see that I'm standing on these plates, and the reason is because the squat racks that we have are really difficult to set the pins at specific points because the difference in between is so drastic. And so I took those plates to try to find a happy medium in between, because it was either way too low or way too high. And I don't know if it's completely safe, but they felt stable. Those aren't slick plastic plates; those are rubber, and so they were holding all right. And worked my way up to 2 sets of 5 at 405. The first set, this one I had rated at about an 8, and then I had the final set at about an 8.5, just because my chest was collapsing a little bit more, and I think that I only had about 1.5 more reps before I started to turn them into a complete good morning. So that is my plan moving forward. This is how the workout's going. The actual structure, the skeletal structure of the workout is going to be Shaco based, and it is a CMS program. Currently 164 days out, and yes, I am going to be paying attention to all of that throughout because I am rededicating myself to just performing my absolute best. Also, fun news, I have enlisted the help of some nutrition gurus, I guess. Roger and Allie Baker, when I was at their gym this weekend, I talked to them, and they are going to be helping me structure my diet and nutrition for the next 12 weeks because that has been a weakness. I keep telling myself I'm going to fix it, but I haven't yet, and so I am going to make the full-on commitment to bring someone in to hold me accountable, and hopefully it's going to lead to some awesome training and great PRs and an excellent showing in 6.5 months. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like rating, share it with your friends, comment down below, subscribe if you have not, and I will talk to you on Thursday. Bye.